Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Hope you're doing well. Today is Monday, January, I think it's the 7th or the 8th, one of those, but it's definitely Monday, so let's stick with that. As my son just said to me, it's a beautiful day today. And it's really not that warm, but one thing it is sunny. And it hasn't been sunny in my neck of the woods for really all weekend long, and definitely maybe even a little bit before that. It's been rainy, and when it wasn't rainy, it was cloudy. But today, yes, I was pleasantly surprised that the sun is shining. And I hope that it is in your neighborhood or in your heart at least. Now, with that being said, I have a bit of a PSA. It's a spiritual PSA. Now, it's personal, but I think it's for public perspective or whatever. You know, it pertains to the public as well. And it's more on the spiritual and mystical side of things. So take it as it resonates. And if it doesn't apply, then by God, please fast forward. But I want to say that it's very dangerous right now to travel the astral without safe passage or without a passport spiritually to do so. I posted a message, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, I think it was last week, that said the title was Wheels Up, it's now safe for you to move about the planet, and that some flight risks are grounded, right? That was a very serious message, and it still is, even more so now than before. So I had a dream last night, and I won't get into the specifics of the dream. It doesn't even matter. But what I will say is that the energies that were in my dream were familiar spirits, and they were cloaked in appearance in one way. But the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying is because it didn't take long before the end of the dream for that cloak or those masks to fall away and for me to see the identities as they organically were. And I know that it wasn't meant for me to see these energies as they were because of first how they came in appearance, and also the nature of connection in the spirit and physical world, that they wouldn't want to be revealed as their true selves. So I'm saying this to say, for those that may or may not be listening on a personal note, but certainly for public consideration, to just be careful how you're traveling around right now in energies where you don't have jurisdiction, and in places and spaces where you are not welcomed or summoned, and where you are just not supposed to be, and especially with poor intentions, because you'll mess around and get into a space energetically and you won't be able to find your way out. And that means that your physical body might be here present on the earth plane, but your spirit may be lost in the ethers. And that would just be really unfortunate to put yourself in harm's way for, when in all reality your cover is blown. The time is up to be able to travel in other people's energies without being identified. So even in the ways that I may not see you, spirit sees all. So that means if I see you, you absolutely are identified by spirit. So you probably want to play it safe at this point in time, and to really just focus on self and figure out how you can bring some security and stability to life in spirit and in truth on your own accord. The days of moving about the planet freely and any energy like that, access is revoked at this point in time. And not for everybody, there is that, but those that have authority and access at this point in time have proven to be responsible with that access. They've proven to be trustworthy. Those that, have not done well with their authority and their access and their power, for the time being, as said in the message, are grounded. You're not able to move about as freely as before without consequence. And who's to say whether or not that'll be reinstated again, but it certainly won't be on account of you pushing back on that enforcement or breaching those boundaries, And as I said, just to be clear, you are not cloaked. You are vivid image in the spirit, sleep and awake, as a matter of fact. So whatever the intention is for entrance and exit, or whatever the case may be, it's just not even worth it at this time. Because like I said, if I see you, spirit definitely can identify you, and your energy signature beyond your appearance is what leaves the footprint anyway. So even if you make it out with soul intact, you're going to have to answer for that breach of security in spirit and in the flesh. It's just not worth it. Just stay out. Stay out of spaces where you're not welcome. All right? Exactly. It's like, this is the competition, the chaos, the confusion, and like the ego trip is what this is, like fighting your own ego at this point in time, because you already know what I'm saying is true for those that it applies to. And for those that it doesn't, that just means, definitely no fear, no foul whatsoever. Just continue to stay vigilant and integrity in your awakened state. And, that'll definitely assure your security in the sleep and awakened state, because it's interesting. I won't get into the details, but I was being lured into an engagement, an intimate engagement that is well since past, first and foremost, and second, it would be inappropriate at this time. Like that cycle, that season is over. So it was like energies trying to reform me back to another time frame that I have released at this point of move forward myself, and that energy that they were presenting themselves to be has moved forward as well. Married, children, happily, and all that, like both of us having moved on. So to have engaged in anything intimately would be highly inappropriate and would have bruised my integrity and also his in ways that would have a karmic effect. Now naturally, the reason I said there's no cause for alarm is because I don't think that engagement would really translate in the flesh per se, because it's a dream, right? But it's the projection of that spirit and that consciousness that is ill fate, is ill meaning, and that it's being projected for poor purposes, perhaps even to ignite a perversion of passion within me, not just for the past, but in some way to satisfy that in the physical. It's like sacral tampering and also solar plexus tampering. And it's not worth it because, first of all, it's energy well wasted on me, because literally in the dream, I was like, oh, you're my test. I literally said that in the dream. So it's like, if this is to soften the blow or, moisten the palate for whatever the intention for contention may be, it's wasted energy. And not just for me, but that's why I said it's a PSA, but for most people that are on the vibration that I'm living on at this time, or intentional about maintaining a certain frequency, they're not going to be so easily misled and misguided. Not at this point. No. So if that was the intention, to cause inner conflict, to impose a will onto someone, if that is the intention, for the invasion of the astral in any way, shape, and form, where you're not, again, welcome or sanctioned to be, it's going to cause more conflict for self and with whomever and however you're looking to satisfy your intentions in the earth realm, because it's not going to be a successful mission one way or the other. And hopefully not in the most detrimental ways, as I've said, as I've warned, where your body is here, but your soul is somewhere out there. So just be careful out there, all right? Literally, okay? Let's see what we got going on. Sorry for that. I didn't mean for it to be that long, but I felt like I needed to say that. So, Knight of Pentacles, it's about an offer. Let's see, what's this offer about? First of all, let's see where's the offer coming from, and what's the offer? What is it being made to? Let's get clear. All right. So we got, offer from this. No, thank you. No. And where is it going to? What's the intended destination? From someone that is on a fool's journey, to reignite some familiar exchange. Like this could be that energy in the physical form, like I said, like trying to reclaim some familiar exchange of relationship or something like that. And it's like, for what? The purposes of prosperity and legacy, to reclaim a legacy. But it's like coming from the full, going in the opposite direction, meaning that the focus is far off. It's not well synergized. And the Nine of Wands, which is someone that is like, that has, I wanted to say that has a grudge, because that's the energy that it feels like. And I've never said that about the Nine of Wands before, but it's somebody that, what's the word that would be more practical? I don't know, like some regretful energy here, either the missed opportunity for a new beginning, and they took a new beginning in a direction that was not favorable or savory, and now they're trying to catch up to their losses at this point in time, to reclaim what would have been, what could have been, I should say, because there's no guarantee, but would at least presented itself to have a different outcome of potential in relationship with the Six of Swords, or even partnership, but something familiar here of the past that an energy would want to regenerate for the purposes of some dynamic financial or material return. Energetic return. There's something of value to be gained here. But the Knight of Pentacles, it's like, because the Knight of Pentacles by itself is someone that is carrying an offer that is solid to some degree, but given how I started with my PSA, and given the energy that the motivation and perhaps the origins of this offer and the intentions of the reciprocation, there's an imbalance here. The Knight of Pentacles for the Ten of Pentacles, on what grounds? Like, who sent you type of energy, like literally who sent you, and why are you so late? Because that's the other thing with the Knight of Wands. They're the slowest moving knight in the deck, And in this regard, having come from this energy, it's not just him taking his time to really learn some lessons, grow, mature, become wiser with his investments, build, like, and even if he has, here it is, even if he has, it still feels like a little bit too little too late at this point. Because it's like somebody that had to bump their head 9 times over, maybe even started over 9 times, or had opportunities to start fresh into something that would have really been favorable and faithful. But they kept like replaying the same scenario over and over. And then finally they get to the point where they're like, oh yeah, I should be over here. And that's all fine and good for the individual who is awakened in one, way, shape, or form, or hopefully in every way, shape, and form. But that doesn't really sew up the obligation of the receiver to accept. It's like this is still a matter of wise investments here. And even with a familiar exchange such as the Six of Cups, it still causes you to take into account, what am I returning to? What am I regenerating? What am I perhaps even resurrecting in my life that would either secure the value of the Ten of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, of which I already have possession, or would help me to get to that place? Like, is this relationship something that leads to that? That's the question. Magician. What else we got? Let me see something with the Magician card. And what we start with again? Hold on, now I can't remember. It was what was the first card? Oh yeah, with the conflict of the Five of Wands. Yeah, that's somebody that's either in competition to prove something to himself or prove something to someone else. Either way, it's a no-go. You know what I mean? Like, they either trying to prove to themselves that they can still attain this wealth or this, this promise of partnership, whatever it may be, despite their missteps and mismanagements or delays or whatever. But again, it's like, you really got to weigh the motivation. And given, I forgot that we started with that Five of Wands, that's more or less the highlight of the message as it is, that there's some conflict, there's some battle of, the gods to some degree. But Five of Wands are hardly gods, but they're energies that want to project an energy that they're in control or possess some level of control or flex some power in some way. And they're very much so like, they're consumed by the projection of power and the image of it, more than the actual embodiment of it. It's like people that want to look like I'm the man, or I'm the best, or they want to exert their authority and over others, or flex their muscles in the presence of others to prove mostly something to themselves, as I said. But that's not really a sustainable energy, which is why the Five of Wands is not a long-term sustainable card. So it's like, even given what I just said, if you have someone coming from that vibration of wanting to prove something, even if it's just to himself, does that really match the sustainability of the Ten of Pentacles? Does that ambition really match what it would take to maintain such a high value, or even to add value to that value? It's like, no, it doesn't. Because if you feel like you have something to prove at the 5, you'll definitely feel like you need to flex at the 10. It's like age-old ideal of, what you do with a little, you'll do with a lot, And with the Magician card here, I feel like that's definitely the energy. It's like, whatever you've manifested at a lesser frequency, it's not going to change because you have more. And a lot of times, especially with energy such as this, that's exactly why people are in the despair that they're in, or in those positions where their accesses have been revoked, their power has been depreciated, because when they had it without limitation, they proved themselves to be unworthy to maintain it. That's a great gift from the divine in spirit and in truth, to have access and influence over reality by way of spiritual source and force. That's a great deal of trust and responsibility lended to your human being. And when you prove yourself not to be trustworthy with that, with yourself and especially with others, it's kind of hard. You really, you have to kind of really grow that, like you have to gain that trust back, like this is somebody that wanted to take over the world. That's what I'm getting here. And the world is looking like, no. Like, I'm over here, my dude. You don't have the authority to operate in that force field, It's like somebody, that's what it is. Like with that Five of Wands, it's people really just overstepping their power force, but not purely, it's really just for show. It's really for appearances, really for, I don't even know, clout, whatever. That word is so overused now, but sometimes it's just the easiest thing to explain something that's so simple-minded, because it kind of just sums it all up, But ultimately, here we are with the Two of Pentacles. Now somebody is weighing their options, perhaps on account of now having certain cycles be closed. Okay, because once upon a time, as I said, somebody did have a great deal of resources, power, authority, access on hand. And that cycle has come to a close. And now in this new cycle, perhaps this is this is the remainder of what has been transferred over. And I say that's hella lucky for a Knight of Pentacles to come out of anything that was questionable, in intention and motivation. If you still have that, you would be quite blessed, I think. Just my humble opinion. But somebody perhaps wishes they still had the energy to the infinite manifestation power that they at least appear to be privy to in some way, shape, or form. I say appear because I get the sense that there were still some limitations, but they just were. This is somebody that was willing to push the envelope against those limitations, and hence why we're in now this struggling, juggling position now, where it's like you push the envelope, and now this is where you sit with what you have. Two of Pentacles, where you're really just making do with the best on hand. Okay, we got for the lovers, you're gonna have to come better than that. As a derivative, and that would be, you're gonna have to come better than that. This the four, and that was the Ace of Swords that almost flipped over. The Two of Pentacles, and this could just be somebody that's just unsure of their self, let alone if there is any actual instability in the material sense, or at least lack thereof from what was accustomed to, I'll say. But certainly it could also imply that just that alone is the inflection of a personal insecurity, because this is someone that values their self on what they have to show for their self, material things, cars, clothes, money, hoes, perhaps even, and it's like, when you don't, and the Ace of Cups, honey, oh no, you're gonna have to come better than that. not true love vibes over here. Ain't no way you want to just kind of like balance your way through this possibility, like, This calls for someone, and if it was purely the Knight of Pentacles, there could be, there could be an opening for consideration there, because the Knight of Pentacles, as I said, on his own accord, that's an offer that's strong, it's stable, it's secure. You can more or less count on it. It's been tried and tested and tried and proven itself to be true. It's someone that has a great deal of a grounded intention to invest his energy, whatever that may be. And it's like no shade. That's like somebody that may have, like say, a blue collar job, or, that maybe has, I'm just saying in comparison to the Ten of Pentacles, that maybe they just have a job that's doing well for them, and they're making their means properly, everything's taken care of, like their checkbook is balanced more or less, but they may not necessarily have an exuberance of wealth. That's something that could definitely be considered if we're talking about true love here. You can't put a price on true love, but we're talking about somebody that may have lost a great deal of affluence, influence, and prosperity on account of mismanagement that cannot very well be justified. And also you can't very well be sure that he's truly evolved from it holistically, because the Fool card, it's like somebody's still feeling pulled in two different directions. Like they're still kind of attached to the past is what I'm getting, maybe attached to that ego that they feel is bruised with the Nine of Wands. That's like a bruised ego. And they're trying to move forward because they know that there's only forward to move at this point. You can't go back. There's not much to go back to. But what they're looking to step into, it just doesn't feel like they're completely ready for it. Maybe there's still yet some healing to be done, some consideration of self-awareness that needs to be settled here. And they're presenting themselves as a Knight of Pentacles. Some like, I got the lessons, I learned my, like I got it, I learned, I'm ready to stand firm and, be committed and be devoted to this relationship. And, they may even truly have the most well-meaning heart, perhaps, even though there's no real cups. I mean, I'm only saying well-meaning heart because of the Six of Cups up here, but really that speaks to a past affinity, somebody that may even be building their present posture and possibilities off of what they've known of the past of a certain relationship. So even that's a little bit off. Like I said, pulled in two different directions, because say this is a potential partner that's coming to offer their devotion, but they're doing it off of who they thought you were or who they last knew you to be. This is clear evolution here with the World card, the Magician, the Ten of Pentacles. This is like someone that has well advanced beyond, like, say it was the girl next door, or someone you used to know, or an old relationship, or whatever the partnership may be, whatever the nature of it is somebody that even as they have perhaps evolved a bit, for their own intents and purposes. Like I said, it's just like a little bit too late, or too little too late to some degree, maybe perhaps because of how they were distracted in the past with their personal choices, is giving someone else the opportunity to advance in another direction that is well beyond where they last connected, or where they last shared a synergy, if that makes sense. It's like the Lovers, the Ace of Cups, it ain't that. It's just It's just not that. Two of Pentacles, this is someone that doesn't even know if he, in his heart of hearts, he's not even sure if he really has the stuff to sustain himself, let alone to invest in a true partnership such as this with the Lovers and the Ace of Cups. And that's okay. I don't necessarily even feel like, damn him, you know what I mean? It's just like, I guess that's the point here, because and that's the Five of Wands, the competition, because you will have multiple opportunities for partnership, personally, professionally, intimately, otherwise, at your discretion. And they may not be all absolute no's or all terrible, and certainly they probably aren't all yeses either, particularly if it's of an intimate nature, right? Like, consider the glimpse of my dream that I gave you where I was being pulled into a past experience, and it's like, what? I'm nowhere near on that type of time, that page, that book, that library, none of the sort. And neither is that person. So it's like, why would that even make sense to revisit and regenerate that exchange? Who does it add value to? Either one of us, none of us, probably so, So it's like, for some, and I would like to believe that in his wisdom and maturity at this point in his life, that if faced with the temptation such as it was in the dream state, that he would be on the same page as well. You know what I mean? And but here's the thing. Maybe not. Maybe somebody would be conflicted because they just see the value of the potential of the connection, the overflow, the, remembering when it was good, having nostalgia of the effect of the connection. That this is probably what it is, because you are just that much of a wealth of love, that some people may approach, maybe even feeling a contention in their own truth, but still feeling compelled to do so anyway because they dare not want to miss an opportunity of a lifetime type of vibe, And it's like no harm, no foul for them for the audacity, but the burden of discernment will always rest with you to decide if that is in alignment with your supreme self and with the unconditional love of the divine that you're looking to manifest, get into it, in this new experience of life that you're already embarking upon. We're in a new year, new cycle. I saw something that I may repost on the community tab that speaks to the fact that, like, finally, for the first time in a while and for a nice little long stretch, all of the planets are out of retrograde. Mercury's still slowly revving up until probably about the 15th-ish or so. But for the most part, all the planets are direct and moving forward from now until April. So that'll give a nice long stretch of acceleration to look forward to. And it's not just happening in your finances or in your professional life or your creative life. It's also in the love area. It's in every landscape of your life right now. And it's not just for you as well, it's for others that may even be seeing, which is, the call to action here with the Knight of Pentacles, is seeing the clock on the wall speeding up a bit, and perhaps even reflecting upon what time has been lost or opportunities have been missed to some degree. And they would be right to want to advance on opportunities that could be missed beyond a certain point. There's a small window of opportunity for advancement in many ways, but particularly for those that have kind of like delayed their actions. Like, the world is already refreshed and a lot of these cycles have been closed up and sewn up. And if you didn't put yourself in a position to manifest something positive to look forward to, like if you didn't put good seed in the ground, that's what it comes down to. Like, what did you sow in these past cycles, the past year, the past 3 years, the past 10 years, past 12 years. Like, what have you been cultivating? Some people have been sowing into fields that were more or less barren, and now they're awakening to like, oh shoot, this is all I got to show for it. Well, let me hurry up and go back to some fertile ground. Not all because they don't mean well to invest and really work the land and really be of value to that cultivation. They may mean very well for it, but as I said, is it sustainable? Does it make sense in spirit and in truth for you with all your 10 of Pentacles, which, your vibration on the love frequency at the Ace of Cups, and with the expectation of the Lover's card, someone to really be able to match your vibe, to say, okay, well, he's trying. Like he don't have much, and maybe he don't even have the time, or maybe he's not quite spiritually attuned to where I am. And sometimes that's okay too, because we can help each other, and we can help, inspire each other. But what I'm trying to say is that even with the most well-meaning intentions, you still have the right and the authority and the responsibility to make a decision it's not just a matter of charity here for charity's sake anymore. Even in the ways that you may physically want to invest your energy, you need to well vet that organization to know that it's truly in alignment. And I'm talking about on a practical level, that is truly in alignment with your core values, that where your money is, how your money is being received is where it's actually being applied and reproduced properly. Even that is a matter of mindfulness. So imagine if we're talking about with whom you spend the rest of your life with, or some considerable amount of time with, or build a legacy or a financial embassy, is what I just heard, of sorts with. It matters. It just matters. And it may cause for some tough decisions against some well-meaning people, again, professionally, personally, and every other way in between, if there is such a thing, but you will have no one to answer to but your supreme self. And that was the Five of Wands that tried to come out again. And that's what it is. It's like people are going to be competing for that spot because it's in high demand now. You are in high demand. Whatever it is that you do professionally or creatively, your energy overall, your prospect of your partnership is highly sought after and coveted to some degree. Some people will want to get in on account of where they fit in before, but they will quickly find out that is not the same connection. Yesterday's prices are not today's prices type of energy, and that's in every way, shape, and form, so. And I guess I'm saying that to really encourage that that's okay, that this is ordained by Spirit to have an exalted expectation at this point in time, especially if you are well within your rights to do so. It's not about being a snob or haughty-taughty or even being vindictive to those that know they absolutely shouldn't even dare act like they deserve a second chance, or have the audacity to imply, to infer a second chance or third or fourth or whatever it may be. Like, even still, it's none of that. It's just really just being true to yourself and what you desire to have. What's going to bring you the ultimate fulfillment and happiness and joy and peace. That translates into prosperity, whether it is to maintain it and protect the value of your material welfare, or to enhance it and, multiply it, magnify it. Let's see. Yeah, we got the Eight of Wands here. I'm sorry. Yeah, Eight of Wands. Let's see what we got with that. What's with the Eight of Wands? Well, that's way too much, but that's victory and success. Oh, Death card, transformation. Ooh, that's death of a love offer. Yeah, somebody's just looking in another direction. That means that even someone that could present themselves as a so-called King of Cups in one way, shape, or form might not have the juice, if you know what I mean. You know, it's like I said, it could be well-meaning. You would expect the King of Cups to be a viable offer, particularly in love, but there's more to be considered than just the conventions at this point. Yeah, like, and you are empowered to do so. That's what this energy is. Wow, it came right back out. Queen of Wands, empowered by the Eight of Wands. Something is propelling you forward and empowering you at the same time to make this power moves. That's what it is. Under the Magician and the World card, it's like, wow, it's like unstoppable force. Access, influence, courage, what else? Confidence, and it's like justified, you know, and it's and certainly, definitely highly empowered with the Eight of Wands. That's coming from an ethereal force. That means like you are, what is that? What can I say about that? Somebody's just about to really be like skyrocketed to, it's like, okay, how can I say this? Clearly there's already an ambition with the Queen of Wands. She usually already has her passion set and her gaze set on something that she wants to conquer or create, bring to life in some way, shape, or form. And this is just like a magnification of that from a spiritual aspect, like the wind beneath her wings, so to speak. I don't know, like I want to say it better, like how I feel it. It's like you start off with one ambition, and like I said, like an embassy, you know, so you start off with one ambition that is, you know, something ingenious, or say like an invention. I don't know why I'm hearing that right now, but like you have an invention for something that really just more or less is maybe out of necessity or is born out of personal experience. So it doesn't, like it has a great value, and incites a great value of passion for you. Or even we could talk about it in terms, I like the invention part, I really do. But we could even talk about it in terms of creativity, because with the Queen of Wands, that definitely is probably a bit more synergized. Maybe not, but the Queen of Wands, we can assume, is heavy on the Leo energy. So she don't mind being seen. She don't mind being a creative force. Front stage, what is it? Front and center stage. You know what I'm trying to say. I can't even get it out. She don't mind being the star of the show, okay? But she don't necessarily, you know, it's just kind of like natural, you know, that even when they don't mean to be, they just kind of are. And that's the energy here. It's like something that is just kind of natural to the senses, natural in the passion, maybe something natural creatively that is expressed without inhibition, just kind of like takes the, let's say the nation by storm, or the country by storm, or the world. Oh my gosh, that's what it is. The world by storm. And it could be invention, because we got the Magician card here. So it could be something practical, like I said, that she just thought of because it made sense to her and it makes her life easy, or she just has the passion to want to make others' lives easy. But same way with entertainment, because they usually, it's a come from when you're naturally creative to release that, because it's empowering for you and healing for you to some degree, rather than hampering it or keeping it or suppressing it and keeping it inside, but somehow it also does the same thing for others as well. So it's like you doing the thing that you're most passionate about somehow incites a world spread or widespread passion for others. That when I'm saying it's like incited by spirit, is because it's like an ordinance of it to be this way. You know, it's like a Beyonce who just really loves to sing and dance and perform and glamour people with her entertainment magic. You know what I mean? Her mastery, more or less. It's like, I would say, her being a Virgo, it's her pleasure to be the master of her craft and doing what Beyonce does. It's like her natural come from. It just so happens that it takes the world by storm as well. You know, that her joy and her passion and creativity of what she would probably do for free just happens to also inspire and motivate and enliven others to do something of the sort in their own right in one way, shape, or form. Like, it could be the same thing, because of course she's inspired many other artists, but just, you know, you can't help but not be inspired by excellence in any form, even if you have no thought whatsoever in being a singer or a dancer or whatever, or anything creative. It just enlivens a certain spirit of ambition and excellence in you to want to do something great in something that you enjoy. You know, like, that's the energy here that I'm picking up. Thank you for letting me get that out, Spirit, because I just couldn't rest until I did. But what brilliance to look forward to, though, that it's almost like ordained for that to be so for you. You know, that you wouldn't have to, you know, of course there's a certain level of devotion that you get to invest into whatever that manifestation may be, right? As Beyonce, since we're talking about her, we know she's a hard ass worker, and you know, you don't even need eyes to see that. The results speak for themselves, right? But it's because it's a labor of love. It's what she loves to do and what she feels designed to do to some degree. So imagine having that right and that authority, that access and inspiration and energetic empowerment from spirit. You know, there's the spirit aspect of it, right? That infuses that ambition within you to like ignite your own organic drive, right? But then it's the push forward that thrusts you into magnificence in a way where you actually see the physical evidence that you're in the right vein, if that's making sense. And then it's the reward and return on the back end, say such as the 10 of Pentacles, where you're actually you know, seeing the return on your hard work in a material form, not just in a matter of, oh, we love you, but actually like sustaining yourself, making money, creating whatever it is that you're ambitious about, and making some type of difference too. Whether, because you could say entertainment is superficial, but for them $1 million tickets and them couple of hours, Beyonce changes lives for those that are diligent to see her. I personally have never been to a Beyonce concert. Maybe one day, if she ever does another one beyond Renaissance, I'll get there. But for those that trek out to go see her, I'm sure it's a life change. Hell, when you watch a damn concert on TV, it's a life-changing experience. So I can only imagine in person that it does the same. And so that's the access that is not just limited. That's the thing of this new world order and things shifting in a way where it's no longer about like limited access for such experiences or such impressions or impacts. It's like everybody that is open-hearted to receive their to receive their, I don't even know what you would call it, I guess their anointing, so to speak, or whatever, their that's really willing to connect with whatever this gift of supreme self truly is, as you are the gift, like accepting that identity, right? And devoting self to it is privy to, it's not limited at all. And there's no competition with that Five of Wands in it at all, because if everybody else is in their same lane, there will never be another Beyonce, just like there will never be another Michael. It's the world that projects that energy. Oh, the next Beyonce. Oh, the next Michael Jackson. Oh, the next Stevie Wonder. Like they had it done to them and so on and so forth. But it's up to the individual to break the mold and live beyond that fray of limitation, to know, even if you don't necessarily have to say it, but to live in the reality that, no, I'm just me. It's just me. Just one Danae, Danee with a hyphen. Like, ain't no other ones out there. It's not in this form, not in this body, not in this lifetime, in this realm. It's just me, And here's the equal give and take, like the reciprocity for that ambition is what, like I said, it's like really changing lives on account of you allowing yourself to be exalted a certain type of way. And see how the energy of this reading changed drastically, and it was probably what it was always meant to be, but having to kind of like put that warning out there, because this is the reality of who you are. Someone with so like unlimited potential and birthright. So it seems like a great deal of dynasty to be devoted to, which is why, like, for instance, we don't know how happy Beyonce and Jay-Z actually are. I hope that they really are. But I'm sure one thing that runs through both of their minds is, who the hell else we going to trust with this dynasty we growing here, this legacy that we've created? Of course, in a lower vibration, that's kind of sad, because if they're just trapped up in, what do you call it? The agreement of obligation for whatever, for obvious reasons, I should say, then that's one thing to be mourned to some degree in spirit. But at the same time, in truth, it's whatever works for them and whatever works for you, and if that's what matters most, beyond, everybody has their own philosophy of love and life, you know what I mean? And we all have to answer to it. And it really doesn't matter what anyone has to say about it. It's unique to us all. But the point that I was making is, it's like they've come to such a pinnacle of success, the two of them individually and collectively, that you could almost not even really fathom who one or the other would partner with if there ever was a split. Now, of course, if it was to be, then there'd be someone for them, But the point is that it's not, Beyonce ain't for everybody and Jay-Z ain't for everybody. Say what you want about him, and many people have and still do, but he ain't for everybody, and that's been proven, tried and true. And the same is for you, that you ain't for everybody. The Queen of Wands here with the Eight of Wands, that's like America's Most Wanted, like household name type of energy, worldwide type of energy because I can't deny this world card is here. It's like literally having the world in the palm of your hands. This is kind of the Beyonce type of experience or effect, I should say, where it almost seems like you're everybody's cup of tea to some degree. Even those that hate on you, you still gotta watch, you know what I mean? Or you still, when the opportunity for spectation, for spectacle presents itself, you ain't necessarily going to turn it off now, are you? Because the Queen of Wands is that energy. She's attractive, not just in the aesthetic nature, but also literally the attractive force to all of this power. She positions herself almost as a conduit, or whatever that energy may be. Yeah, I would say a conduit in this case of the divine, to be able to then conduct that force in a physical way. So both conduit and conductor, if you can get into that. where people want to be a part, people want to be associated, they want to see, they want to work with, they want to collaborate, they want to communicate, they want to date you, they may want to marry you, they may want to drink your bath water with the Queen of Wands. You know what I mean? There is definitely a propensity for a bit of obsession on the outside in, just because of that energy source, that surge of, I don't even know what you call it, passion from the inside out, I suppose, that is both contagious and alluring to some degree. Yeah, so it's like, you got the juice, man. You got the juice, you got the power, you have the influence with the Six of Pentacles here. You have the what do you call it? The sustainability for reciprocation, meaning, like I was saying before, is like what you do impacts and influences, dare I say, even inspires others, and not in a way where you're literally just say, you're just taking all you could get. I can't account for everything Beyonce does charitably, but she certainly does pick wisely, and she don't share a whole lot, but every now and again something seeps out like, oh, that's what she's doing. Oh, I didn't know she had her hand in that, which tells you she's doing something, whether you see it or not. She's not just using her influence just for her own self gratification, that there is being used to inspire otherwise, and empower otherwise. And if that is 100% true, I'm very grateful for that example of energy, especially on that level of celebrity, because everybody ain't doing that, period. Yeah. So here's the and let me be clear, like, I'm not a Beyonce stan. I'm barely even a fan, I would say, because like I said, I ain't even never been to a concert, but I'm definitely a respecter of persons, and a respecter of energy that is undeniable, that you just can't deny her. It's just, I don't care how you feel about it, you just can't. The mastery and her results is well matched, So the Six of Pentacles, as I said, I'm saying all this, like, I'm bigging you up right now. We're not just talking about Beyonce. We're talking about you. We're talking about the power and influence and authority that you have been gifted, that you at this point in time need to not be indecisive about or unsure about, because what is given is that everybody else, or maybe many others, see what you may be reluctant to either to admit or to assert. Let's put it that way. There's enough we started with competition over your energy, over people trying to prove themselves to be of value to you, and to be of essence to the potential of a partnership with you in one way, shape, or form. Now, we started in one very different vibration, because it's for the like I said, even going back to my dream, like, people are still willing to sacrifice themselves and put themselves in harm's way just for the sheer potential of connecting to energetic spaces that they know they should not be projecting themselves into. Like, you about to really lose your soul on account of trying to influence my energetic field. Is that really worth it to you? Is it? Like, I don't think so. But in spirit and in truth, you are that great of a that high of a commodity. You are. And some, like I said, people well-meaning and otherwise will trip all over themselves just to try to be a part of your world, or part of your existence, or just to have a piece of whatever it is that you're putting your mind, heart, and spirit to. So again, this is more for you to, like I said in the beginning, it's not to be afraid or anything like that, or feel like you got to be on high alert even in your sleep state or nothing like that. I feel like it's more so to be affirmed of just how great of a power you wield. And of course, I would assume that if you've been exalted to such a level at this point now in this season, and to the point where you don't even realize the level of exaltation, that you've already proven yourself to be trustworthy and responsible with how you use that, but it really matters that you realize still how magnified and magnificent it truly is, so that you don't leave anything on the table. You know, you use every force that you have to enforce that protection for sure, but definitely to advance whatever agenda or vision it is that you set out for yourself. And here it is right here with the Two of Wands. That's the plan, knowing that the world is, what did I say? The world is in your hands. It's at your fingertips. That's what this is with the Two of Wands. He's holding the world in his hands. And as I've said before, is knowing, oh, I just heard something, that you have a place in this world. This is like the home card. Like everywhere you go is home. You know, like you don't have to feel foreign or strange to any land in this, on this globe, on this planet, as a matter of fact, because it's the scripture where the angel of the Lord says to Joshua, where you go is holy ground. Wherever your feet are planted, because of the motivation, the intention, the anointing, the choices that you've made, the ambitions that drive you, the passion that is pure of you, how you mean to touch and motivate and inspire. It's like you're covered everywhere you go, everywhere. And that makes the world almost feel smaller than you being, swallowed by it. But in the same regard, it's like, I've said this before about the Two of Wands. It's like you realizing how big you are in the world, but also how what's the word? Like significant you are in the world, but also how can I say it? Like how great of a reach and a touch, or how much of an impact you make too, even on that what seems like an infinite scale of possibility, that you just doing you and being you somehow can impact, like you can literally touch the entire globe. Like I said before, like something you just doing in your own passion can somehow affect millions, billions collectively on this planet. It would throughout this universe, even beyond the planet, if there is such a thing to touch, that's how grand of an impression you truly can make. And I love with the Four of Wands that's the balance of your life existence. Like I said, that you literally can feel at home everywhere you go. Like I said, a household name. That makes a lot of sense with the Two of Wands and the Four of Wands. Literally a household name. And here is, what this is with the 2 and the 4 is back to that 6 that almost popped or kind of showed its face with the success of your ambitions. Came right back around full circle. That you just focusing on what you can impact, not also as even though you're seeing the world and the possibility of how to influence, not even being overwhelmed with, almost taking that pressure onto yourself to have to hit every corner of the globe, because sometimes that can burn you out. But just knowing that your devotion to your own passion purely is making an impression beyond what your intentions may have been, and is being carried out, like it's like spirit blowing on your own flames, blowing on your flames to like ravage every existence that you can touch, prosperously so, like a wildfire of sorts that starts with just a flicker, and then before you know it, no trigger meaning here, but in the most prosperous and productive way, of course, that your passion can literally set the world on fire. That's what this is. And you'll be at home and at peace, in harmony to do so wherever you go, wherever you feel called to go, of course, because here's the Ace of Cups and the decision-making card with the Lovers, where you're in assignment and an alignment to go. Of course, not everywhere, but you'll know that, right? Because your devotion is to your supreme self and to source. So you'll know exactly where your passions are leading you, and you will follow them without fear, without fear, as it is here with the Eight of Swords. And you know why? Because this is back to the beginning of the not so well-meaning energies really trying to keep you from this awareness of self. They don't want you to see how important you are to yourself and to your purpose, even to the divine, especially, as I should say, to the divine. They don't want you to connect to that reality. They want you to still, distrust yourself or feel like you're disempowered or in a cage or in a spiritual prison. And, there's only back to the limitations that I talked about earlier, that this is all that is, limitation being projected and deflected upon you, because unfortunately the lowest vibration of all of this is that for some, not all, for some that don't feel like they can buy their way into your access, whether it be materially or seductively, so like to literally just talk themselves into your access, they don't want you to have access to you either. It's like, if I can't have you, you can't either. Yeah, exactly. Here's the rejection card. Instead of them going to the source and finding their own supreme self, oh no, that's not. Some people are refusing that invitation or have refused it. They have refused it. And perhaps that's even the precursor for why, people had a little more pep in their step trying to get back to where they know it was good at. But also I could see this in the highest vibration is that, like, the security system around you is tight now. People, like I said, people can't get through with poor intentions and ill meaning, even if they try. And if they do, first of all, this is the rejection where they're not even admitted. Whether you see them, remember I said that earlier, like whether you see them in spirit and in truth or not, there's a force around you now. Like you are A-list celestial celebrity now. You may not see it holistically in the natural. Others may not necessarily even see it or want to believe it, but that is the reality, that you are an A-list celebrity, celestial celebrity now, and you have top flight security, or literally top flight, because even people that try to breach that layer in the astral are getting kicked out or apprehended, and they're being spiritually incarcerated for doing so. As I said earlier, people that don't want to accept their fate and their reality in the spirit will have to pay the price naturally, one way or the other. Nothing is being overlooked here. It's like you got security in every way, shape, and form, like in the natural and the spirit and your mind space and your emotions. Certain people can't even get through. Like your access is different now. When's the last time you could reach out and touch an A-list celebrity, the likes of a Beyonce, while we at it? You know what I mean? Since that's been the topic of conversation here. Like, you ain't getting through, what's his name, Julius? You ain't getting through Julius. He'll lay down his life before he lets you just walk up and touch Beyonce. That's the type of energy you got surrounding you now, which is why I mean well to say that it's not a matter of fear. And on any plane, in any realm of reality or existence or dimension, sleep or awake, you're covered by your own integrity for sure. However, you need to know how precious and powerful you truly are, and you get to walk in that presence, be that presence in spirit and in truth. Surely. Yes. This world is not going to affirm that for you. It's not set up to do that. It's not set up to tell you how amazing you are. And you may have the very opposite evidence even in your more intimate connections in life, where people have gone out of their way to make you feel quite the opposite, that you're insignificant, that you are powerless, that you don't have much to offer. What you have is not very special, or you should try a different route or a different, like people have tried to throw you off the scent of your own success in many ways, shape, and forms. And it hasn't worked, because I'm talking to you right now that you're already here and not just witnessing, but wielding the evidence of your power. So this is it now. This is it. Don't get scared now type of energy, because the influx of opposition is only in the desperation to either, as I said, connect with that force that now they know, what it truly is, and what the opportunity missed may truly have been in the lowest vibration, or to connect because they just want to be a part and they see the opportunity for advancement, in the highest vibration as well, or in the absolute lowest vibration, in the depths of the dark, to keep you from advancing or just realizing exactly where you are in this present moment, let alone the potential of your future prominence. But you see clearly, because I just done told you so. So walk in it courageously, confidently, fearlessly, just as a Queen of Wands in all of her glory absolutely would. When she steps into the room, it belongs to her. When she steps on the stage, it's all hers, front and center. That's you in the realm of reality, in the spaces that you occupy now. So congratulations. Keep doing what you're doing. I wish you all the best as you are perhaps becoming reacquainted, or maybe introduced for the first time to who you are altogether. Whatever it be, as the Queen of Wands also would, take a good look in the mirror and really bask in the beauty that is you, without fear of inflection of of vanity whatsoever. It's about appreciation and reverence, because if you can't, you certainly can't expect anybody else to. All right. So again, thank you for listening and watching. As always, until next time, I leave you with peace.